I'm going to highlight maybe 3 or 4 major research projects that I'm doing. It's so interesting to hear growers saying that now we have to set aside because there's a surplus. So it means that somebody's doing something right somewhere. You know, there's this production, the higher productivity out of the bulb, and most of it is because the growers they are open to learning new techniques, best management techniques such as good bug management, good drainage, good weed science, and good water management as it were. So I'm going to start talking about irrigation. When I first got here, I got interested in irrigation because my predecessor to removed had done some work on irrigation, and they'd found out that the growers use 1 inch of water a week, and that 1 inch of water in irrigation tended to be a little more than what the plant needed. Instead, he started working with using tensiometers, and he developed a simple tool called a lampirometer that people could use. It's a visual tool that they could use to tell them when to irrigate. And so I took it from there and introduced some nice tensiometers, some of the latest technologies, such as wireless tensiometers, to help us come up with an objective way of irrigating. And as a result, we saw, I've been working very closely with KB and even with Peter. I've seen some of his yields go up quite a bit by reducing the amount of water that it puts on the bulb. Of course, the challenge is that some would not be using tensiometers, so they're used to the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or the Tuesday, Thursday, and they put the 1 inch, and you're looking at your neighbors, their sprinklers are running and yours are not running because the tensiometer is saying, oh, you don't need to irrigate, because the irrigation is based on the amount that is required in the soil. I also work in the area of frost protection, because frost is a big deal within Cranberry, because if they don't frost protect, they can potentially lose an entire crop. And there we've been trying two methods. One called the conventional method, whereby when the temperature, the lowest temperature has been reached, where at the tolerance level, that they have to run the sprinklers. Another method is using what we call cycling, that the pumps will go on and off throughout the night depending on temperature set points that you give. Usually they start at 2 degrees above tolerance, and then thereafter, when the temperatures go up, the pumps will turn off, and then when the temperature dips, the pumps will go off again and run throughout the night. And we found that using that method is just as good as conventional, yet you put less water on the bulb, because cranberry, like any other plants, they don't like wet feet. And as a result of that, there's been quite a significant change in terms of productivity. And some of our best work that we've done on that actually were out of his book, and a nice publication out of that, which I'll share the senator with. I know I've given some of the people here in collaboration with Dr. Kennedy. And in the summer, I'm also looking at cranberry stress physiology with the issue of sun scald. Now, most growers are adopting the bigger cultivars that are higher yielding, but they tend not to have enough foliage above the berry. So the berries are more exposed, and as they are exposed, plants have a way of hydrating themselves through transpiration, but they also have the environment around them. So there is the area immediately around the berries that would affect the temperature that the berries are getting influenced by. So we're using intermittent irrigation to help us to cool off the vines, hoping that the plant will be able to physiologically do its work and produce a good crop. I have a student working on that, and she's going to be looking at some of the basic things like proteomics, isolating proteins and so forth, to understand what is the causes of tolerance or of avoidance. I think I'll stop there because I'm singing.